You can call me that.
Hello, everyone. If you, like me, have ever struggled with acid reflux, you're in for a treat today because I have the lovely Anna Browne, who's nutritional therapist, but also she specializes in acid reflux. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say, Anna. So I'm just going to hand straight over to you. Is that okay?
That's absolutely marvelous. Thank you so much, Julie, for having me on. And I'm always excited to share nutritional tips, easy things that people can actually do that can make a big difference to their life. So today, indeed, I want to talk to you and your listeners about very simple habits that you can bring into your life around eating that will generally support your digestion, but specifically reduce the likelihood of you experiencing acid reflux. So
Love
acid
that.
reflux is horrible, as we know, and like 20% of the population do experience severe acid reflux. And interestingly, there are many people who probably have acid reflux but don't realize it because they're not attributing less common symptoms to it. So we all think of it as being that heartburn and indigestion in the chest, but it's also a myriad of other symptoms, such as feeling of a lump in the throat or excess mucus that you constantly have to clear. So it's that kind of thing that people sometimes do frequently. That an annoying cough, even hiccups can be a sign, ear infections, and of course, lots of digestive issues such as bloating and abdominal discomfort, burping, nausea, bad breath. All of these things can actually be as a result of acid reflux. So, a myriad of unpleasant symptoms. And often people end up being on antacid medication, such as omeprazole, lansoprazole, there are many others. Or they may take over-the-counter remedies. But what I really want to talk about today is actually there's really quite a lot that you can do yourself that will really ease your situation. They're great habits to take on board anyway, but particularly if you have acid reflux.
I
So,
can't wait to hear what you've got to say, Anna, because I don't think I've shared this with you, but I've had acid reflux for over 30 years. And for
wow.
me, it developed into a cough. I hardly ever cough now. I don't experience that heartburn, but very, very occasionally. And I've tried omeprazole and lansoprazole, however you pronounce it. And, and it distresses lots of other people around me when they hear me coughing, which, as I say, doesn't happen really very often. But as a result of the acid reflux, I developed Barrett's esophagus
Wow.
to go and get it checked out. So for those people that don't know, that's sort of can be a precancerous thing where the cells change, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
More about that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this. So yeah, please go ahead.
Mm. Okay, great. So I'm going to share with you three simple habits that you can introduce to reduce the risk of acid reflux. And the first one I'm going to talk about today is to start to think about what you're going to eat at least 30 minutes before you're going to eat it. Now, why do we do that? Well, we do that because the first stage of digestion, which is called the cephalic stage, you could call it the anticipatory stage. It's really where digestion actually begins in your mouth before you've even put any food in it. And that's because it begins with your nose and your eyes and your brain. Sight, smell, the thought of food, which basically brings about the production of the digestive juices that you need to break down your food effectively. So, if we just try a little simple experiment here, if you just close your eyes, and I want you to imagine your absolute favorite food, whatever it is, something that you really love. Can be savory, can be sweet, no judgment here, whatever it is. And imagine yourself holding it in your hand or seeing it on
I've
the
already
plate.
got it in my mouth, Anna.
You jumped the gun there, Julie. Just
Sorry.
pause and you're going to visualize it on the plate and you're going to imagine what it's going to look like when you put it in your mouth. Now, is your mouth watering?
Yes.
Absolutely. I bet it is because your body is getting ready to receive the food. So very simple thing. Allow your body to anticipate food and you will be more ready to digest it. So that's tip number one. Habit number one. Habit number two is pause and take a few long, deep breaths before you begin to eat your meal. Now, we do that because your digestive system is managed or part of, controlled by a part of your nervous system called the autonomic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system that deals with all the things you have no control over, like breathing and digesting. And it has two branches. It has the parasympathetic branch and the sympathetic branch. And the sympathetic branch is what we sometimes call fight or flight. And I like to visualize it as the accelerator pedal on your car. The other branch is your parasympathetic, and that is your rest and digest. And I like to think of it as being the brake on your car. So you've got your accelerator and your brake, and your body moves at ease, hopefully, between those two stages according to your need. So when you're in the fight or flight, your body's producing all the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline and noradrenaline. And that's making your heart go faster, your breathing rate increase. It makes the energy go to your muscles so you can escape from danger. But what's important here is that while your body's in that state, escaping from danger, it's down-regulating your digestive system because it's making a judgment that it's more important for you to escape from the danger than to digest your dinner. So the propulsion, the way your food moves through the body slows down, all your digestive juices slow down. You're not in that frame of mind. So as you can imagine, you want to be able to switch into the rest and digest at the point you're eating. You do not want to meet your food in fight or flight mode. So the second habit is the pause and the taking a few breaths. Even if you just sat there with your lovely dinner in front of you at the table and you took a few long, deep breaths, that would be marvelous. But if you've got acid reflux, the ultimate habit to get into is alternate nostril breathing, which is a trigger in the body to switch you over. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and we'll just take a few breaths together. So you're going to use your right hand. You just sit with your left hand resting on your knee or your leg or whatever. Right hand, you're going to use your thumb and your ring finger to alternately close off your nostrils. So you're going to use right thumb on right nostril, and you're going to just close your eyes and slowly inhale through the left nostril. Top of the in-breath, you take your ring finger, you close off the left nostril, and you exhale slowly through the right. Inhale through the right. Close with your thumb, exhale through the left. Inhale left. Close off with your ring finger and exhale through the right. And we'll just pause there. So if you do that for 3 minutes before you eat, it's connected to your vagus nerve, very important nerve through the body, and it basically sends the signal to your brain to relax you, to basically be in that rest and digest frame of mind. You can use that meditation, that breathing practice anytime you're stressed, but excellent for acid reflux.
So that's interesting, because I've used that breathing technique in yoga classes and things. And obviously, it's great, isn't it, if you're on your own? But if you're out to dinner with people, that's not possible. So are you just suggesting that someone with acid reflux just takes 3 deep breaths before eating? If they can't do the nostril breathing,
they can't do that,
yes,
then I think what you go back to is something that we may have lost, which is actually taking some time to appreciate and connect to the food you're about to eat. So say you're in a situation where you're around a dinner table or you're in a restaurant, someone's cooked you a beautiful meal, you're with friends or whatever. Take that opportunity to look at your food. Look at the food, look at the colors, appreciate it. Again, it's the smells and the delight of the food, which will be triggering that anticipatory juices. But also it's giving you the space and the cues to your brain to say, dinner is here. I'm going to be relaxed. So you're any way that you can get yourself into that frame of mind, the right frame of mind for digesting is good. So ideal is the alternate nostril breathing, but you can take a few nice, long, slow, deep breaths while you admire your food. No one's going to think you're weird for appreciating what's in front of you, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's habit number 2. And then habit number 3 is chew your food well, because your stomach has no teeth. So if you really take time to chew, 6 to 10 chews at least per mouthful, you're basically beginning the digestive process in your mouth. So the salivary juices, they have enzymes in them that begin to break down the fats, break down the starch and the carbohydrates, so that by the time your mouthful of food has reached the stomach, it's already partially digested. And that obviously puts less of a burden on your digestive system. So everything is much calmer. So basically what we're talking about here is introducing habits that prepare the body for the food that you're going to eat and put you in the right frame of mind, so you have the right digestive juices to break down the food. And all of that just basically equates to less chance of acid reflux, because we need acid to break down our food. But the issue often with acid reflux is that we generate it at the wrong time and not at the time when we need it to digest the food. So if we actually promote all those digestive juices at the right time and digest our food properly, we are far less likely to experience acid reflux.
Wow. I guess I keep interrupting you, Anna, but I've just had this question. Well, actually, I thought that if we're chewing the food in our mouth 6 times and already starting that digestive process, not only is that obviously beneficial, as you've mentioned, but also I imagine if you're someone who has a tendency to overeat, then perhaps the body will send the right signals, so you won't eat as much.
That's absolutely correct. That is another one of the my mindful eating tips in my free ebook, which people can download from my website. The tips that I've talked about today, the habits that I want you to get into are in there, but also that habit that you've talked about, because eating slowly, chewing properly, putting your knife and fork down between mouthfuls means that you have an appropriate amount of time for your food to reach your stomach, and therefore the signal to go back to your brain to say, I'm full, I'm done, I've had enough. Whereas if we eat really fast, we actually don't have the time for that signal to arrive. So absolutely right. Slow eating, chewing properly means we're much less likely to overeat, which also is a trigger for acid reflux.
Absolutely love this, Anna. I had no idea what you were going to say. And what I really love is that we can all do it. Mm-hmm. We can all do it. It's really, really simple. It's just about I guess initially having the prompt to do it, which might be for some of us having a sticky fix-it to say, oh, when on the table to say, remember to, so the starting the habit sometimes can be the really tricky thing, but actually it doesn't cost anything. I absolutely love that. And for those people who are on medication, and we're not suggesting here that everyone comes off medication, though I do know that you work with people and sometimes that happens, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there will be times when somebody absolutely needs to stay on an antacid medication for a variety of reasons to do with certain conditions they may have, or other medication that they're taking which makes their stomach lining more vulnerable, the esophagus more vulnerable. So there's absolutely I would not be broadly saying to people, come. Although I can certainly work with people with their GPs to work towards that if it's appropriate.
Absolutely.
And certainly sometimes when people have been given antacid medication, it really ought to be a sticking plaster, a short-term fix, unless, of course, you need to stay on it for other reasons. And if that's the case, people often find that coming off it is extremely difficult by themselves, because the body has been told by the medication, indicated to suppress the stomach acid. And then when you come off the medication, you get this surge where the body's basically redressing that imbalance. And often people will erroneously attribute that feeling to the fact that they need to stay on it. It's not actually necessarily the case. It's just that the body is adjusting, and that period of adjustment can be uncomfortable. And that's where I can step in and guide people gently through that process, giving them the support they need. And part of that process is actually understanding that foundational ways of eating, our relationship with eating, is actually a huge player in this and has to almost come before anything else. It's almost like relearning how to eat, because we've got into so many terribly bad habits.
Yes, we have. And, you mentioned that some people don't take the medication, but they take other things that you can get over the counter that you chew. And again, that obviously is a sticking plaster, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, you really need to go back to, number one, as I said, looking at this sort of foundation of eating, but also what are the triggers in your life for these events? Because as we know, stress is a massive factor. There are all sorts of things going on. Because something that I actually didn't mention when I was talking about the nervous system response to digestion was that when we're in that fight or flight mode, your body can't actually differentiate between a real threat and a perceived threat. Therefore, those stresses that you feel, like, stress at work, family dramas, long to-do lists, all of these things put you in that same survival mode as if you were running away from a saber-toothed tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that kind of stress is again impeding your ability to digest your food. So, all of these things that we can talk about and work with don't require necessarily for you to be on medication. They actually require you to adopt really constructive habits.
Yes, and be really present. And what you said about, even the process of looking at your plate of food, appreciating the colors, you're talking also about a shift in mindset. And mindset makes such a huge difference to what the reactions that happen in our body, doesn't it? So that's brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, massive relationship between our mind and our gut. Yeah. I mean, there's so much increasing research on gut-brain axis, as it's called, but it's basically bi-directional highway of communication. And so all these things that we can do so easily, and as you said, are free and are just constructive habits, they make a massive difference to our digestion and therefore our well-being.
Yeah. I absolutely love what you've shared. Thank you, Anna. You mentioned that you have something on your website, a downloadable.
I have an ebook which is full of great tips for how mindful eating, so paying attention to the way we eat, not just, it's like how we eat rather than just what we eat, really, really important.
Yeah.
Because there is that expression, we are what we eat, but that's not actually right. We are what we digest. Because that's quite different. Yes, so I have a very helpful ebook that people can download for free. And also, of course, I'm really happy to work with people. Anyone who has digestive issues, suffers from acid reflux, I offer everybody and anybody a free 20-minute chat in which I can listen to what's going on for them, work out whether I might be able to help them. It's, it's a no-brainer. You might as well do it, because something good might come of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so, so much, Anna. So for those of you that are listening or watching, thank you. If you've been at all influenced or delighted by what Anna's got to say, then please check her out. Her links will be below. I think we need to put the downloadable workbook thing, whatever you said it was, in the notes below as well. But please check Anna out. Thank you for watching. And if you know anyone else who's suffering with acid reflux and would like things to change, then please share this video and give us a subscribe too. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.